Hello and welcome to the Adventures of the Windswift. Thank you for joining us. We are live and, of course we're all live. I mean, it's not the undead game, is it? That's late night, midnight kind of viewing. So, full complement, of course. We've got some interesting things happening. And so, Dice of Destiny, which I happen to have here. I was so impressed. I was trying to film these dice because they glow in the dark. And I couldn't do it last time because the camera couldn't pick it up. So I put them in the sun and bingo. Probably got radiation poisoning. Anyway, Dice of Destiny is telling us that it is number 5. That's Sophie. What's going on in the Adventures of the Windswift, just quickly?
Just quickly, so in the last episode, we were continuing to get attacked by the captain of that place. Doesn't like us anymore because we may have burnt down half of their capital city, according to them. And we did really well because we managed to save Mios. Yeah, at the same time, we may have lost our Jockenstokes because they may have done something terrible to themselves. So, yes, it was all a bit of a, yay, we won, but oh, that's not great. And then, our new member on the ship managed to cheer up Lieutenant Ty in a rather flirtatious manner, I feel. And off we went, la 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 la, having taken a lot of stuff off the poor elven ship, like their food and water and weapons, and just, left it there to the mercy of possibly the merfolk. Off we go to the Tiefling lands at first, but now let me get this right. Atriumentium?
You tried.
I tried.
Effort.
Why sort of really difficult name there? Anyway, decided to tell us that probably wasn't our best idea. And we got approached by the merfolk ambassador again, who, it was an interesting conversation. And we decided to go up to the Brenyai Kingdom instead to go and have a little conversation with the druids via one of their portals there. Con does something terrible to Jorik and Suket.
Never forgive him.
Never. Will have my revenge. While he goes off and speaks to the Oaken and tells him everything that has happened, and the Oaken says that they will address all of the leaders of the world, and we're going to have to defeat the dragons. That's where we got to.
Yeah, that's a pretty comprehensive summary, I would say, of the events that happened last week. So that takes us back to Connor Danner. You are still in the centre of Sanctuary. The old Oaken is still looking at you. He's it seems as if he's waiting for you to give him an answer as to your course of action.
Well, there can be only one priority, which is to locate and destroy whatever means the dragons have to gain access to the plane if any still remains, and to kill any dragons that are present in the world.
Very well. What do you want us to do in the meantime to support you?
It's probable that there's going to be a lot of misinformation about the crew of the Windswift in particular. It would help if there was some strong diplomatic voices heard speaking the truth, perhaps.
We can provide as much as we can. Of course, traditionally, druids are not well known for being able to move in courtly circles, but we will do what we can, absolutely. And the message...
of Sanctuary is respected.
We are respected, yes, but... well, there are many others that don't necessarily see our status as being that of advisors or Nonetheless, we will do what we must. What is the message that we are sending to the people?
Well, yes, what message? Well, it's going to become fairly obvious that the orders have collapsed. I think the message must be clear. The threat of dragons is upon us.
You think it's wise to alert the general public to that?
The general public? No.
You realize once we tell any one of the leaders that that's what's going to happen.
Well, it's up to individual rulers to determine. We can't take responsibility for their decisions, but what we do know is that the orders have unprecedented power within every nation, and this is currently being manipulated by those who serve dragons to their own ends. So every nation's sovereignty is currently undermined by any order members still loyal to the dragon cause. And we know that the loyalty starts at the very top. Whatever remains of the order is either for or against us.
Right. Well, we'll do what we can. Now, there is the matter.
Our ship.
Yes?
Our ship is in quite a state at the moment. Is there anything we can do about that?
Where are you currently in dock?
Well, we're not really in dock. We're currently at anchor in Littleman's Bay.
Oh, I forget the names that the Brenyai have assigned the territories. It's Littleman's Bay. That sounds... West Coast?
Correct. Not far from Kimber-on-Tor.
Ah, yes. I always appreciated they kept the old name. Well...
The druid here is, lonely.
He sort of looks over at his shoulder as the attaches. One of them whispers in his ear. It's like, oh, yes, him. Yes, well, Kimber-on-Tor. He might be able to help you in terms of restoring the wood. I understand that when you were at Sanctuary, you engaged one of our shipwrights. Is that correct? I'll see what I can do. I'll put in a good word with you with the King of the Merfolk. That way, even if you do sink, at least you know where you're going.
Well...
To the bottom of the sea.
Probably can't hurt. We've had a few encounters with their ambassadors and soldiers.
Oh, so you know them then? Oh, good. You can get around
in a manner of speaking. Yes.
Now,
we're going to the actual Davy Jones.
You could say that.
If there is nothing more that you need from me, I need to go and tell the world that the dragons are back.
Yes, I think the time for secrecy is over. We can't operate this way anymore.
Right. Well, you know how to get hold of us. We will certainly get hold of you.
Thank you.
Yes. One last question before you go. Just before you arrived, there was a incident in the Drow territories. You didn't have anything to do with that, did you?
Just before I arrived, we weren't anywhere near the Drow territories. What happened?
Haven't you been to the Drow territories?
Well, yes, that was some time ago now.
Times difficult. Oh. It would appear someone has blown up the city of Corsinia.
No, that really wasn't us.
Well, that's good to know.
We blew up a bit of it.
I beg your pardon? What? Con O'Dana, what have you done?
Nothing, really. It was in the pursuit of a case we were on for the Order. And in the process, we were attacked quite strongly by the ice elves, which have a capacity to self-destruct explosively. And a section of a tower in the city was damaged by such an explosion, but certainly not the whole city. No, we left the city intact, and everyone was fine.
No, the reports we got was that the entire city has been destroyed in an explosion. It doesn't sound like what you're describing at all.
No, that definitely was not.
That is some small relief, then. We have also had reports that Qwethlan has disintegrated itself.
We were there, too.
Actually, were we there, or was this the other time thing? I think it was the other time thing, right? Qwethlan border?
No, Qwethlan border.
Blaxton.
Correct. That exploded, but that was a previous time and episode 1 of chapter 5, I think. Yes.
That would be primarily the actions of the dragon conspirators.
I see.
However, the Empire of Vain Vasul has pegged us as the prime suspects.
Why would they do that? Surely they would know.
Because the traitors of the higher ranks of the Order accused us of being the enemy. Right before we confronted the dragon within the fortress, which you would have seen when I drank the sap.
Yeah. It seems our work must start there. Very well.
Probably.
Good luck, Con O'Dana.
Thank you, my lord. Lorcan.
He turns and sort of disappears. All right, so back to the two of you that are stuck at the stones with the druid. Yeah.
That's probably our reaction right now.
No.
Yes, it is to your tremendous relief that the stones flare up and Con steps out of them. The druid looks up and back to the tune. Well, that's a pity. You're welcome.
Did everything go well, Con?
Yeah, as well as can be expected, I guess.
Yeah.
We should go back to the ship. Thank you very much for the.
You don't have to leave.
No, really. Unless you'd like to impart all your wonderful knowledge to Con, who I'm sure would love to hear all about it.
Alas, we must be elsewhere in a hurry, so we must depart. Thank you so much for your hospitality.
Don't forget the ship.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
I'm gonna need that face.
Don't know much about ships, actually.
Yeah, who was going to fix that, actually? I don't know.
Well, the Oaken said that this druid could help.
This one?
I'm not there, sorry.
No, he said that he would get back to us on that one.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And he'd ask the Merkin to kind of keep you afloat. So, yeah.
Could be interesting. He's entrusted
yeah.
some aquatic species.
It's been a great moment of interaction there as well. A couple times. All right, so you return to the ship. The crew are ready and waiting as best as they can. They are.
While they were gone, I wanted to.
Yes, you wanted to do
chat
something.
Yes, I wanted to chat to Summer's character.
Oh,
also, I realised.
Yeah, go for it.
While we travelled here, I would have finally gotten around to making my transmuter stone, which I realised I'd just straight up keep forgetting to say that I may.
Excellent. All right.
So yes, it is now something that gives me proficiency in con saving throws.
Nice. Nice. So no
Very
more
good.
poison
Something that you will need.
Yes, I thought so. But yes, I want to. Where are you, Simon?
Probably
Being lecherous near Lieutenant Ty.
yes.
Oh, sort of saunter up. Sort of,
Prowling about was what I was.
yes,
Yes.
I was sort of find you on the
On the deck,
Yeah.
I guess.
sort of wiping my hands clean of strange alchemical substances. Sort of. So, Mr. Hart, was it?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, I've been a little thrown these last few days. I haven't really been very sociable. But it's nice to have you on board. We're a little short on people right now, as you might see. I
didn't hire as a deckhand.
No, but still, it's nice to not be on an empty ship. Still, you were after Dungathwin then, were you?
Well, yes.
Can I ask how you plan to track the man? Because, I mean, powerful mage, you don't always have physical tracks.
Sure. Well, not here.
Well, obviously.
But I know people around places where people live. Again, kind of looking around, just like nothing happening. Maybe maybe like a bird in the sky calling.
Well, I'm personally, I don't know about the other captains, but I'm personally of the opinion that tracking your target down and having a good long chat with him is rather high on our priority list. So if there's anything I can do to assist, magically or sending a message somewhere.
Well, kind of perking up a little bit before he was just like slinking back against the railing, just like lounging almost, let's say. Exactly. And kind of say like, well, that entirely depends on your abilities.
No, I have gathered rather a lot of magical knowledge at this point. Mostly wind related these days with our current situation, but
well, if you cannot ask the voice of the wind, I fear that will not be very beneficial right now.
No, it's true. Well,
Well,
if you need any magical detection or identification services, I'm definitely here.
I nod and say, well, I am most worried about my quarry, obviously. And, well, if we can help each other doing that, that would be very beneficial for both parties, I'd say.
Absolutely.
Well, if it were to me and if you want my help in that, we kind of need to go to a place of civilization where I can speak to people of
ill repute.
Most honorable intentions.
Of course. Perfect repute.
Exactly.
Well, hopefully we'll be heading towards some kind of civilization soon. It's just with the issues in Qwethlan, we're a little wanted at the moment, I think the word is.
Well, I mean, I'm here on board because I wanted to get out and no one else was on the seas, and I didn't really want to ask the else.
No, that's fair. That said...
Sad? Why is that sad? For
No.
like, yeah, the elves can logic themselves to death.
They do have a risk of that, don't they?
I mean, I'm just waiting for them to make a mathematical error and just don't carry the one or something and they just disappear.
Yes. You'd think so. Sooner or later, there's just going to be a hole where Thane Valsoon once stood.
Yes. Well, anyway. I think the others are coming.
Probably, they do.
Kind of looking towards the shore. So, well, if you want anything from me, if you need any special ingredients and you don't know where to get them, for the right price, I'm pretty sure I can find a provider.
That's interesting. I might hit drop on that.
Sure.
Well, welcome aboard anyway. It's good to have you here. Seems like we
I
were
don't
almost
want to say that I'm very pleased to be here, but as far
No.
as I'm here, I've been attacked by elves, and I'm working my ass off putting
Yeah.
your boat back together.
Yeah, no, you're not finding us at a great point, honestly. We're not at our best right now.
But hey, then it's only going up, eh?
I know, right?
Do we have good points? Ever?
I know. I mean, at least we have a clear goal right now, right? I mean, before it was all very nebulous and up in the air, but now we have a target the
Just
size
don't
of
die.
a house.
I don't know what your goal was before, and I honestly don't really care about it either. I am here to kill a person.
No, that's fine. And you're not too bothered about the whole dragons thing?
I am very bothered by it. They are dangerous. I don't want to meet them.
No, you don't. That was very unpleasant. But, you might get a chance if you stay on board, so hopefully we should find this Dengathwin.
I maybe was not entirely understandable. I do not want to meet them.
No, I understand that you might, we might want to hurry up and get Dengathwin so you can move along and not meet dragons.
Right.
But then again, they're kind of all over the place.
I have yet to see one, so I don't really know what you're talking about. Maybe the wind is talking in your ears. I don't know.
I wish. I wish it was so.
Both of you can give me an insight check, please. The two of you, Atramentum and Edrisai.
Are we inciting each other?
Believe each other. Natural 20, so 26.
19.
Oh, wow. Well, yes, she's not very good at it. With the two of you laughing and carrying on as if it was a lovely summer's day, you both hear on the wind, as Lieutenant Ty walks past, a comment of, "Why don't you get a room?" as she walks past very, very coldly, seeing this fraternization that's going on.
Oh no. You're gonna murder me in my sleep because out of jealousy.
Anyway,
that's gonna wake up and Lieutenant Ty is gonna be here and she's like, "Get away from me."
Morning.
And I'm like, "Oh jeez."
No, I didn't. All right, so that's where you find yourself.
I was just talking.
We were just talking. Nothing happened.
I'm literally always like this. You should know that by now.
Nonetheless, the three of you return via the skip back to the ship, unless you're doing anything before you get onto the ship.
Yeah, we'll get a few yards down the path towards the sea, and I kind of stop for a moment and stare out to sea for a little while. And then I turn and go back to the druid.
Ah, you've come back!
He's gone completely nuts.
Oh no, he's suicidal.
I knew the lichen was too good to be true. Yes, I knew it.
This blade is immaculate. Absolutely immaculate. I mean, your blade.
Yes, I know, right?
Everything is absolutely precisely so. I mean, your feng shui is just completely, utterly in tune.
Well, I studied, and I, said 3 feet apart, and you maintain this particular type of lichen on the west side, and on the east side,
Yes.
I
can't say I've seen the like. I mean, dare I say it might just approach the kind of perfection seen on Sanctuary.
Ooh.
How long have you been here?
I have been tending this glade for about 28 years. Roughly. Yes.
All alone!
Let me tell you, when I got here, it was a shambles. Those stones, he says, pointing to the 5-ton stones that form a neat circle, completely out of alignment. They were it was more like an oblong than a circle. Do you know how long it took me to make sure I was cutting down trees that were towards the end of their natural cycle, so that I could make sure that when I cut them down, I was enhancing the growth underneath, turn them into rollers, and then actually move those stones individually. It took me some time. Yes, no one has ever commented on that before. You say just like Sanctuary, really? I haven't been called back to Sanctuary in quite some time.
I assume it's almost reached a self-sustaining level at this point.
Now, well, you know what nature's like. It'll just take over if you don't sort of tend it and sort of keep. What do you mean? Why wouldn't it be tended? I'm being replaced. You've just come back from sanctuary, aren't you? I'm being sent somewhere else. That's what's happening.
I believe you've misunderstood me. No, I was just wondering if you fancied coming and helping us try to save the world, or if you wanted to stay here even longer.
I vote we leave him here, Jorik, and get on the skiff very fast.
Just leave the 2 druids on the island. Let's just get out of here. Life will be better.
While we can.
It's not worth it.
It's a once in a lifetime.
Cut him off like an arm that's stuck. Just saw it off.
We're on this important mission, as I said, and we are short of capable hands. So here's a once in a lifetime offer, but it's going pretty quickly.
But
towards the sea.
When you say save the world, what do you mean? Because by being here, I am actually doing that. I'm playing my part in the bigger cycle of.
There's a greater threat to the world, which if unchecked will lay waste to all of
I
this.
don't know. The fishermen have been particularly heavy on Littleman's Bay recently. I had to give them a very stern talking to about the number of fishing boats that they were launching, and if I'm not here, there could be overfishing happening.
That's okay.
But what would I do exactly while saving the world?
Fight servants of the enemy, cultists and whatnot. Use your powers to bring good into the triumphant, that sort of thing. What circle do you follow?
Give me a persuasion check. He's a druid of the moon. I'm more of a grower and a tender and
13.
How many other people would be with me saving the world, and how much of it do we need to save? I mean, I've got a pretty good stand here, he says, sort of pointing out over the sort of the 20 square feet of stone circle that he has.
Right now there's about, I'm not entirely sure exact numbers at the moment, but at least a solid 4 or 5 of us fighting this right now.
4 or 5 of you? Is that, you're not
including the 5, yes. So 4 others down on the ship, and we have something of a crew.
That would be more than 5 then.
Yes, although they're technically more of a support role.
They provide you with support?
Yeah, we have staff.
We have good dental.
He places his hand on the one.
Not so good
standing
at
stone.
druids, though.
Yeah. He places his hand on the standing stone and he closes his eyes, and you can see his lips sort of moving. He seems to be talking to the stones.
Since I need to now care about his name, what was it?
Why do you think I'm looking at the book going, what the hell is it? I have
Miraculix? I don't know.
Miraculix.
I have
That's
everybody
the one that came to mind.
else's names.
I'm not sure he got a name,
I
honestly.
don't think so.
He might not have,
either.
because I'm usually pretty good at that. Okay, yes, good. So he didn't give out his name, which is absolutely fine. I will go with one of these names here that I have available. He finishes talking to the stones, and he finishes by saying, he sort of takes his hand off and he goes, fine, just know that I never meant to hurt you. And then he turns away from the stone. And
Oh no, is he
you,
breaking
and
up with the stones?
He could take the stone with him. We have a stone shaper.
Oh my god, we do!
I'm
synergies!
good to go. I'm good to go, Captain.
Oh my god.
Kill him.
The synergies. The magic combos.
Oh, yeah. How big is the stone? Big.
They're 5 tons
Don't think we
each,
can-
so it's big.
We're not taking the stones with us. I'm sorry.
Right, fantastic, excellent choice. Let's go.
Oh my god.
So, who is he?
His
Don't
name
believe I
is.
called your name, by the way.
Which name do you want? The name.
Whichever one we're all going to be calling you for the next however long that we know you.
He kind of he sort of sidles up to you and he goes, I've spent a great deal of time among foxes and I've got kind of used to the name that they gave me. Do you think it'd be okay if I use my fox name?
Fascinating.
Ow! How do you spell this?
What does the fox say?
Do you think that would be okay, or do you think I should use my normal name?
Can people pronounce your fox name?
Oh well, it translated. I worked out the translations on my
And
own.
that would be
Bushy tail, big one.
Bushy-tailed big one.
Yes.
You want
Name
us
is
to
Bushy.
call
We got
you
it.
Bushy-tailed big one.
Well, you already have him Mr. 9, so why not Mr. 1?
I would say that your name is entirely a matter for your own determination. Out of curiosity, what was your other name?
Well, my birth name is Aldwin Pith.
Huh? Aldwin. A solid old name, that.
Yes.
Well, it's really your choice. I would say Aldwin rolls off the tongue a bit faster in times of emergency. If we need to get your attention, efficient to call you that as opposed to
Oh, you see, I've never had this before, so yes, I can see that. All right. Yes. Aldwin it is. Aldwin it
Yes, that's
is.
something in my eye.
Aldwin it is. I will learn from you, Con. I will learn from you. I will become the druid you want me to be.
You have a student.
Okay.
More like a groupie.
Oh, Lord.
So Con
John
rejoins
Druid.
you on the beach, being followed along by Aldwin Pith, who is accompanying him.
I sort of lean over the side and I yell at them. I say, could you bring me back some rocks?
Rocks?
Yes,
You want me to
just
bring you rocks?
Yes, rocks.
What size of freaking rock do you want?
I don't know. I just want something for 9 to do.
Right.
I want to get him some rocks.
For the love of Saket, go drink some tea. I'll fix the rocks, all right?
There's
I mean, I
nothing.
can get them myself, but you're there already.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'll get on it.
Thank you.
Well, this is
I
the
get some rocks
episode
for
that you
other
get
side.
after last week.
Yay.
This is
Some nice ones.
all right. So,
What
Jory,
constitutes a nice rock?
Oh, do not go
I
there.
don't know.
Do not go there. My mother is a rock collector, and you get nice rocks and you get not nice rocks. Trust me.
Yes.
Trust me. I swear to
They're
that.
very distinct.
Round
But they're
ones
not-
and smooth ones and warm. Yeah.
God!
Oh.
You talked about Leitchen all day.
Just a nice selection, please.
All right.
I want to get into the mineral composition of rocks now.
No, because it's all dolerite here because of the lava flows. But
Okay.
anyway, you have a collection of rocks and a druid collection starting to happen, and you all row back on the skiff to the Windswift. The Windswift has been worked upon by Barger and the two deckhands and Lieutenant Ty, of course, as well.
Lieutenant Ty's hair was black, right?
Doesn't
but
cabin
yes.
help?
Yeah,
He's on the
absolutely.
ship still?
Yeah. Everyone is involved in trying to keep the ship going, and she is definitely improving, obviously. But yes. So once you're back on board, what you doing?
I invite everyone for a chat in the captain's ready room.
Apparently, I need a cup of tea.
Oh, good. Well, let's go get the kettle on.
Mm.
So everyone, or is this a...
Yeah.
Everyone, like the entire crew. Everyone.
No, just us.
Just the captains and
The
Atramentum.
team.
Yeah, I mean, we should bring Atramentum on since he's...
Plus Atramentum, of course.
Yes, I mean, he's kind of vital in the whole next step of this.
What about Viz? Shall we bring him as well? I mean, he is a captain.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, all the seniors, or even Ty.
All right.
All right,
Just
sure.
I go gather them up.
The
Map room,
captain's
now.
map room is rather full with everybody sort of getting in there and sort of shuffling around and finding seats and sort of awkwardly standing. In
As
the corner.
everybody gathers, Atra would just say, welcome to the menagerie. Cat, snake.
Yes. One rhino away from a zoo.
Yep. Everybody looks expectantly at you, Con.
It occurs to me that with the order sort of imploding, however we wish to look at it, dragons back and whatnot, this ship is no longer an order ship and we're not really order captains anymore. So
I never was.
you never were, obviously. But
Lieutenant
my
Ty
point
raises
is that
her hand.
Yes, Ty?
Lieutenant Ty?
I'm sorry, sir. You said the dragon is back.
Yes. Yes,
Did
they are.
we not discuss this previously?
No, I
No,
don't
we
think...
did not.
I think we got sidetracked. They're back. Very back. Physically present.
The only other person who's not dead on the crew right now is our drow chef.
Arrogant now.
And the deckhands.
And the gunner. Oh, and
Yeah.
the guard from the prison, right?
Yeah, Kevin.
Cabin.
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah.
Cabin.
Well, they
And
they don't know it as we know it, right? So,
No. So, Con, why don't you tell us?
Oh, that's not what I was intending. I thought we should just have a discussion of how we're going to continue from here on.
well, I would say you need an able crew and not just sailing on half-mast all day and night.
Yes. We need people, and
Are
we
we
need...
happy to continue as we are with the current structure in place? Is that working for everyone? Does it have any meaning? Post-order collapse, that sort of thing. But also, yes, where are we going to find more crew? We need more crew.
Honestly, when it comes to sailing experiences, I think I'd be a lot more comfortable. If we're shaking things up, having Lieutenant High having more of a say in the running of the ship itself and repairs and whatnot.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, she's the most experienced sailor here.
I won't contest that.
I don't know how you run things here, but I am here right now because I need to get away from that wretched island anyway. And it seems at least one of our goals is aligned for now, and that is what I fully intend to go after.
Yes, we could
As are we,
absolutely
by
use
the
his
way.
help getting to Dungathwin.
I mean, we need to find civilization to get
The nearest
crew anyway.
civilization is Kimber on Tor, but is that even how big of a city is that?
Kimber Tor is one of the larger ones in this district, as a matter of fact. She is primarily a trading city with the Elvish Empire, responsible for shipping out vast amounts of grain that's grown in the lower Brenyai Kingdom areas to there, as well as to the rest of Brenyai, as a matter of fact. So between here and the next city, there's about 200 miles or so.
So where is Valenhold exactly?
From
North
here,
there.
Valenhold is a significant distance. It's easily, by sea, it's about a week and
Just
a half.
tell me
sailing.
on the map where it is.
Straight north.
Straight north,
basically.
basically.
It's north.
Mm.
All
A
right.
little in from the coast.
It's in Brunei.
Yeah,
Yes.
next to.
I see it. I see it. Yeah, I see it. Okay. So the Daide would be I guess.
Yeah, Daide
Yeah.
would be the closest port if you wanted to get to Valenhold. Yeah, well.
Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Atra would. I mean, I don't know this yet, right? I mean, I don't even know if my character would want to go there, depending on how you put it. But Atra would say, "Well, we are fairly close to Howden Lee, and I know particularly a few people there that represent a certain order." And I kind of chuckle to myself, being very happy with that I still have order.
we could use a new one of those.
Warden Lee, you say? Yes.
But I am positive that in any major city I can get some foot on the ground.
Yes. Well, Woden Lee is rather in the wrong direction for anything we might want to do, honestly.
Except my
direction?
sister.
Sorry? Oh, yeah, of course.
Could we not speak to the druids about Doric's sister? I mean, they kind of wanted to go into not Drakensberg, sorry, wrong place.
I mean,
Drakensmore. Anyway.
with everything else that's going on, I feel that maybe we shouldn't involve this poor ship and its poor crew in vampires as well. And maybe we
I'm
should
bound to agree, yeah.
put the ship into port and get to
Fix
that issue another way.
Yes, like setting the druids on all of the vampires.
Atramentum, you need to get your feet on terra firma before you can get your information flows working.
Yes.
What about Lorcan Castle? It's north of here, large city. I mean, it's towards Sector 13, if that's where we want to head.
It's also towards Valenhold.
Yeah.
What is it with Weatherhold?
Well, the druids seem to think that
Well,
Our quarry might have escaped there.
It's also because it's rather I think the technical term is a clusterfuck of what's currently going on and possible hostilities.
Well, again, I am here to kill a man. As long as you help me doing that, I am more than happy to help you in return.
Excellent.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
honestly, I'm with Atramentum on this, that we should
Kill a man.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should straight up hunt down and kill a man like a dog. No, that's not. I mean,
Like a dog.
Like
says
a
the
dog.
cat. I hate dogs.
well, there's a condition I attach to that is that before he dies, we attempt at least to extract as much information.
Obviously.
I will try to extract everything he has. Atra says with a deep bow.
see,
So then, as far as
Including his intestines.
as far as I can divine, the
I mean, there's
trail-
lots of things to extract. Eyeballs. There's tests.
Okay.
So,
but-
were there any other reasons why we gathered here?
So, no, I think that's good. We're agreed. We head
What-
towards
what's-
Bexenhold.
What did
If I
Jockenstoke
might,
say?
says Lieutenant Ty, raising her hand, I assume if you are going to place me in charge of the Windswift, that I can give you a list of crew that we're going to require. If we are to be a
Yes.
sailing vessel, we do need more crew than we would
Yes.
have had previously.
Yes, please.
If we are to reforge this order of ours, then perhaps I propose a little change in the rank structure, starting with the ship, and that we, 4 captains, might be 4 commanders,
5, I pointed this.
I do beg your pardon, this, yes. 5. And that we immediately approve the elevation of Lieutenant Tai to Captain Tai.
Here, here.
Commission her with the command of the Windswift.
Here, here.
I'm for.
Aye.
I can live with that. I like being commander. What do I get to command?
Well, for now, much the same you have before. It's largely ceremonial at this point.
So that's what the caretaker is chief administrator, yes?
Do I get a stripe on my uniform? Is that what we're saying here?
I'm sure we could get you a pip.
Yay, Pip! Love it.
We're free agents, more or less.
This steps forward. If I might ask some questions, then.
Absolutely.
Since Edict 7 has been enacted, I assume, since that would make the most sense, surely we should seek out any archons or the like that should assume command of the entire operations.
I was thinking about that. I can only do this with people I've personally encountered, but I was planning on starting to make some calls, so to speak, to send some messages out, see who's still alive.
It is unlikely any in Qwethlan survived. The explosions were significant. If I hadn't been returning to my own vessel, ostensibly to hunt you down before we learned of circumstances, I would have perished alongside dear Golfin. The commandership status is not entirely a valid one. Elevating Captain Tai or Lieutenant Tai to her status is, however, a prerogative that you can exercise, and as a result, I would not stand in the way of her elevation.
Listen, handbag.
We threw the book out.
Whoa! Whoa!
Can you truly trust any Archons that survived this whole ordeal?
Exactly. I welcome any who wish to throw in with us and can genuinely prove their worthiness, but the entire command structure and senior hierarchies of the Order have failed in the most fundamental way and are no longer recognized on this vessel. So I should probably warn you that if you're wanting to stick to the old book, which I threw out the window when we left some time ago.
He looks at the window, he looks back at you.
I can, of course, let you off at the nearest port and you can go along your way.
It's very difficult to tell what he's thinking because he has no expression on his face whatsoever. And
I mean, the facial muscles need to be
there just aren't any muscles, really. And these eyes just kind of stare straight back at you.
Nice.
You're speaking of forging a new order completely.
One that works, yes.
Necessity, we have an immediate problem to face, which is dragons and those who serve them. The Order has been ineffective up till now because it has been hamstrung by treachery. In order to adequately and effectively fight this threat, we must now create something new, which is not compromised, which will actually fight.
The only parts of the The only parts of the Order that we know we can trust is the people in this room. And, I mean, if we find other trustworthy parts of the Order, then sure, we'll,
The most likely source, I feel, of allies from the Old Order are other captains.
I can take it upon myself to scour through every Order headquarters or whatever, bureau or whatever, in whatever city we visit. and see what I can dig up.
His tongue sort of darts in and out as you're talking, and at the end of it, I will join your cause. I do not taste deception here. There is honesty, and there are certain archons I would greatly appreciate consuming.
Since we have Captain Boots on our side, what could go wrong?
Look,
dear,
Goatee, let's not start with the racial insensitivity.
This
We are
sort
a
of
cosmopolitan crew.
Clearly.
Vis looks at the tiefling with his horns and says, "If
I try sitting there with the chair on Ryan, like leaning on the
right,
on the, on the backrest.
if I were to stoop to insults, coat rack, I might
Oh,
be bothered. But for now, let us stand united. Yes."
I held up my hand towards Vis to get a high five. Yes!
All right, so Lieutenant Ty says, "Right, orders, Captain. Where are we sailing to?"
So if we're agreed that Valenhold is the next stop on our mystery tour,
I'm not
Lorcan-
sure what
Lorcan
we'd
Castle.
actually do there, but yes.
I'm all for Lorcan Castle. Seems like a good midway.
Yes.
is Lorcan Castle a place where one can make port, or is
Oh
it a
yes,
castle?
no.
So,
no. Lorcan
so,
Castle's
Commander-
huge.
Commander Khan, then, is it? Where is your new headquarters? Or are you just searching for the next tree to build your house in?
You're standing in it.
Yeah. It's a mobile headquarter for now.
Is Lorcan Castle is a long way from Valenhold.
From here,
Well,
Lorcan
yeah,
Castle is
well-
about 5 days for you. No, maybe 4 days.
It's
for
on the
you.
way.
It's pretty straightforward. Lorcan Castle is one of the capitals of Brenyai, so it's a magnificently large city.
No, I can fix the boat there.
It's at the mouth of a river, so it has to be
Correct.
somewhat important.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
it's like I said, it's the southern capital basically.
Yeah.
Perhaps we could make some efforts to further disguise the appearance of the Windy on the way.
Yes, change the
A
whole.
busy port, we should be able to hopefully.
So how different does the Windswift actually look compared to other ships now that it is refurbished?
If you were to look at her, there's a certain sleekness to the hull, there's an organicness to it, where the planking no longer looks like it's separate in some places.
But we're not
So-
necessarily worried that in spring we're going to grow like flowers.
That's probably not going to happen. I don't think that would happen.
Right, now that I said it though.
Yeah, now that you said it, now of course it's going to happen. When you look at the Windswift, as opposed to say another ship in the similar vein as herself, she just appears to be a little bit more organic.
So just a little bit sleeker, a little bit
Yes.
nicer, but she looks like a normal ship.
Absolutely,
So-
absolutely.
She doesn't look like a river barge anymore.
No, she
Alright.
she looks as if someone spent quite a lot of money on her. At the moment, she looks like someone spent a lot of money on her who's going to get very angry because there's been significant damage
Right.
to her. But,
So then
Mm,
then say, well, the first thing you probably should do is change the flag.
right, absolutely. All the
Mm.
pennants and standards and ensigns are all
Need
wrong.
to, we'll need to cover over her nameplates as well.
We're going to rename her? I mean,
We're
that's
not going to rename
I was
her.
just gonna
No,
say,
please don't, because
that's
then have to
not
change the name of the
rename
show,
boat.
and that's
I
just going
don't
to
know how I was
confuse.
No. She's going on the cover. Calm down.
Be disguised.
We're going to call her the Blow Quick.
We just can't
No.
march around public now with windows.
That's a different.
That's for the red light district. Let's not.
That is
remember that.
Like crimson.
That is the again. That's the nighttime. RP.
That's the Windswift After Dark.
The quickie.
Dear, oh dear, yeah.
Okay, so we're all agreed.
Yes. Another thing, the merfolk. I know we're not taking sides in the merfolk versus Thane Vasul thing, but we could honestly really use them on our side in the other thing.
There's that.
Yes.
In my
Right.
meeting with the Oaken, he said he was going to put in a good word with them for us.
Oh, good. I mean, we already have had one.
Yeah.
But I figured we should call up the ambassador and have a word.
Yes.
Well, if you know how to do that, then why
Yes, I could do that right now.
not? What do you want to say, then?
She has something in her room that glows in seawater. I've seen it.
That's true. I could, dropping that into the water might call him up, but I could just, cast magic to speak to him. Although that means I can speak to one less Archon today. But
Are we on a rush to do this right now?
We've
Not
got
really.
5
sailing
days
to
to
Lorcan.
Lorcan Castle, so
Yeah.
no.
Well, yes, I think we've all.
Well, my general advice, if you want to meet any officials from the government, is cover your ass. 1, 2, have a plan. What you want them to do and what you offer them in return.
And if you really want to be tiefling about it, have something that you can blackmail them with to make sure that if they're not cooperative, that.
But that goes without saying.
Yes,
Mr. Evil.
that does. It does go without saying. Yes.
so the new druid fellow, is he here to fix the ship, or is he here on a more permanent basis?
He introduced himself as Biggie to me. I don't know what that is about.
Yeah, he's here on a
He's a
semi-permanent basis.
recruit. We'll see how
Yeah.
it goes. That reminds me, I want to ask him about something.
All right,
I guess done here, everyone. Captain?
Yeah.
What else did the Oaken say? Did he say anything other than he's going to speak with the Mouth King?
Yeah, so we have to do a bit of diplomatic work, hopefully, on our behalf, given the current situation related to the Elven Empire. So we're hoping that bears some fruit. And also, you'll get back to us.
Mm.
All right.
How will he be doing that exactly?
They have their ways.
A little birdie will tell us, I assume.
I mean, Adros, I can talk to people at a distance. I guess they can too.
And I imagine that he has the means when he needs to. The plan is to alert the major rulers to the situation as discreetly as possible.
That does raise another question, says Lieutenant Ty.
Captain Ty.
That's going to be
blushes.
difficult.
Yes. Are we to inform the rest of the crew as to the status of the dragons?
Let's not cause general panic across the crew. Yeah.
Let me clarify for your benefit, Captain. We are not sure to what degree this is. It may only be a partial compromised situation. It's obviously, we don't think it's a full-blown invasion at this point. We're not entirely sure they're capable of such, but at least one has found a way. And we severely wounded it. It probably has immense powers and probably has healed its wounds by now, but we did wound it badly at the time. It enabled
Pissed it off either way.
Oh, great.
They're not indestructible. This is the important lesson here. But yes, that is the truth of it. But we should probably not alarm too many people with that at this point.
Understood, sir. Absolutely understood.
Yes, it might be good to have a basic explanation of why all the explosives happened and why we're on, Edict 7 and all that.
Well, they already know about the engines. And that.
Correct. I think it's safe to assume that we just inform them that Edict 7 has been enacted because of the engines and leave it at that. Unless
To the best of our knowledge.
Yes.
Well, information is
It's
sketchy.
a very wise plan.
Right.
That's why I made you captain.
So, Captain,
we'll
you
set
mind if I
course.
inform the queue of your field promotion?
Yes, sir. That would be most agreeable.
Right.
I would just add, though, that now that I am captain, I assume that means I will be able to run the ship as I see fit.
As long as you don't run the crew into the boots like you and I did before.
Yes, I have.
That
learnt my
wasn't the
lesson.
best idea.
And remember that we're still commanders and therefore...
Let's put it this way, Captain. We like the way things are running now, more or less.
Mm.
Take your example from the last time you've had under us. Less chaotic, maybe, I hope, but
I think you
She
will do a
bites her
wonderful
tongue
job.
as she
Captain.
nods. And
no torture.
Atra would say, I'm sure you will do a most perfect job, Captain Ty.
she looks at
Just
you.
never stop flirting with her. I mean, hello.
She can't help herself. She smiles, and then she immediately stops smiling because she gets angry at the fact that she smiled just because
It's like,
Well, I think we're done there.
All right, so you inform the crew that Lieutenant Ty is now Captain Ty. The crew stand there, and Mios kind of goes, "Yay, yay!"
By the way, Mios, I have a job for you.
Another one, sir? I mean, yes, sir.
Don't worry, you can get your rest later. But
you will row now.
Yes.
Yes, you're on the oars. No.
Get on that swim and pull the ship.
No, if you could skim around the ship and remove all order insignias and flags and stuff, we are no longer officially an order vessel. Visually, no one. We want to go undercover, and then you can check in with Captain Ty and see if you can get some rest. All right?
Yes.
Yeah, because she's going to let him do that.
So,
I'm gonna miss saying lieutenant.
Yeah.
We need a new lieutenant.
well, you do have a first officer, technically speaking. Hurricane was promoted
He's
to second.
Lieutenant Hurricane.
Hurricane.
Yeah.
Field promoted.
Promotion.
Yeah. Field promotions for everyone. Everyone's good promotions except for you, Meow, so you can row some more. All right, so the ship.
Gong, gong, gong.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just realizing.
Let's
you're
put
gonna have
this
to make
on the drum.
A new
That's
cruise.
intimidating.
Oh, absolutely. This is nasty.
More like dancing.
Oh, dear.
And
So
as
wrong.
the laughter starts to fill the ship makes its way north towards the great capital city of Lorcan Castle. This does approach the four of you at some point. What do you wish my role to be? I feel as if I'm not contributing.
What are your talents?
I am commander
Are you a
of the
warrior?
new order.
Yes, indeed. And how do you? Were you an investigator?
We
An
worked.
enforcer?
Rowan
Terminator.
people.
I was from the Hastari, if you recall.
Are you trying to say you were a jack of all trades? No speciality?
My role within the order was interrogation.
Hmm.
I can see how that would work.
Handy.
Yes.
You start at the feet.
Well, hopefully you'll get some work to do soon.
I'm not surprised you ask that, Commander Khan, considering your extensive medical experience. The feet are indeed an excellent position from which to start when interrogating individuals.
Oh, okay.
Let's hope we have no need for your skills, but you never know, I suppose.
The question I suppose I should be asking is, do you wish for me to remain aboard the Windswift, or to seek out my own vessels so that we might respond better to situations as they arise? It strikes me having all of us in one place is perhaps potentially dangerous to our fledgling society.
He's got a point.
Yes. If you could get the vessel on your own,
A matter
that would be very handy.
Simply done.
Hmm.
Perhaps
You'll
at
need some-
Lorcan. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
In which
It's a good idea.
case, the last question I have is funds.
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. Blaxton, you look after all this stuff. Do we know how much money we actually have?
I can tell you. Give me a second.
Yeah.
I thought you said that in character for a second. I was like, oh, no!
I'm not there. Otherwise, I would have said.
No, I know. I was like, Con, could you... Oh.
That was in
no.
character.
So,
no. Con, no. Just...
you have in the ship's coffers right now 12 gold and 22 silver. But
Well, what?
I have more than that.
Yeah, we have wares.
but you have over 4,000 gold worth of ink.
Oh yes, the ink.
You have still wages that didn't get collected from you yet.
They're probably gone.
Yeah.
I haven't spent mine on.
They're in the coffers.
Yeah.
I mean, could we potentially go to, like,
on the
order
ship, you mean?
places?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's another 1,000 gold that Blaxton had himself in his private room. I don't know what you guys want to do with that.
Spend it.
Yeah, we probably want to use that for order related.
And you have like some other stuff plus the weapons from the prison, the lightning rods from the prison, and the stuff you got from the elf vessel.
Yeah. We can go through that after the episode, you and me.
Actually, with the stuff from Blaxton himself, it's actually 5,000 gold worth of ink.
How much would you think you
It's
need?
14 liters of ink.
This?
A crew undoubtedly has associated costs. I suppose to continue on our usual routines would be unwise. Is there anywhere you wish me to head to seek out information or seed?
I imagine.
Should I hunt down remaining captains?
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's start with the
Find allies.
hornet guy.
Motaru?
Yes, that guy.
Taru.
Find Motaru.
Hunt him down. No, wait,
We at
what?
least know that he's going to be loyal.
Oh, yes, he was undercover, wasn't he? So he wouldn't have been on a ship.
Oh yeah, didn't they say he was in the Goblin region or something? He painted himself
Yes.
green for some
Yes,
reason.
last
I don't know how that would help him with his disguise, considering.
So would
Hello, fellow goblins.
I don't look like a yak or anything at all.
No!
I have a
Disregard the
1,000
horns.
gold.
It's just a helmet.
Just dress them up as two more goblins.
Sorry, Con, you were saying?
I have 1,000 gold of my own. How much gold would be a plausible seed fund for this guy to get himself a small, fast ship to?
I do not intend on purchasing a vessel. That would be several
No, I know, but-
thousand pieces of gold.
The associated money you require.
I suspect something in the region of 500 pieces of gold should be sufficient to begin with. We
All right,
are
I can fix
now a desperate organization. The new order does not strike me as being one that is concerned with the pettinesses of trade and individuals.
And next to you, Atramentum becomes visible.
Hello.
We could
Well,
just.
that
Why
is
don't we just wait for our next encounter with the elves? I heard they have vessels they don't want anymore.
Are you suggesting we steal one of their trimarans and
No,
basically move
I'm
into
just saying
piracy
we
here?
let them board and then let them go overboard, and then there's just an empty vessel.
Well, if we run into any more elven ships, we may have to do something like that. Anyway, but regardless, we can provide you with the funds you require, and at Lorcan we can part company. And yes, I think we all agree finding further allies is your mission.
Excellent.
a small thing. Could we call it something other than the New Order, though? It sounds a little...
Fascist?
I don't know. I quite like the sounds of it. The
I'm
New
sure you do.
Order.
How about the New World Order?
Oh, no, okay.
Oh, dear.
No.
No. This is going in a very
Wrong
dark
direction.
direction.
We could just think about it separately, and then before we get into Lorcan Castle, we can discuss it again. Let's just have a think.
Well, in that case, I'm going to go find some food.
All right.
I'm gonna give 9 these rocks. Thank you, George.
When you've eaten and when you've talked to the druid, come see me, Con.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, yes, so to speak to that druid.
You
first,
did indeed,
briefly.
yes. All right, so the ship starts making its way north. I'm going to go through each of you very quickly and just sort of see what you're doing. So let's start in reverse order. Jorik, what are you doing while the ship is sailing north? You've got 4 days.
Oh, in 4 days. Well, I'm going to go talk to Con.
All right.
Take him first.
Atramentum, are you going to continue to chat up Lieutenant Ty? Captain Ty.
Captain Ty.
Captain, please.
Captain Ty.
He would be very remiss of being still on the shoveling or duty of water. Not really down with that anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like necessarily necessary for living. Other than that, he would be looking forward. Something that might be a little bit surprising is that you would maybe hear him sing to himself when he doesn't feel necessarily kind of watched or listened to. He has like a small book where he seems to be writing maybe something in it at times.
Nice. Good. Saket?
Well, of course, the cat would be eating because that's what the cat does. But in 4 days, probably getting a lot of rest, recuperation, avoiding the druid as much as she could, and plotting her revenge on Con.
All right.
Okay, so another thing that might be a little bit, obvious with Atra is he seems to give everybody nicknames.
Uh-oh.
I like that. All right. Adrusai?
I have a few things.
I suspected you might.
Yes. Okay, first of all, I want to kind of make sure Mios is all right. And I also thought I would teach him semaphore because we could use someone else on the ship apart from me that knows the language. So I want to start teaching Mios how to semaphore.
Right. The first lieutenant is dead.
Yeah. Or like anyone else who wants to come in on the class, I'll hold a semaphoring class and everyone can learn.
2
I'm good.
deckhands?
Thank you.
No, they don't even know how to write or read. They don't have a clue.
Work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also want to teach Atramentum our cipher and also this before he leaves. Yes, the cipher that I made for secret.
What Atra would then show you is that you mean something like this, and he would just forge a perfect document.
Oh, I love you. I mean, I don't, but oh, that's beautiful.
Don't let
The
Lieutenant
ship
Ty use
seems
stuff
to
like that.
rock from side
I mean-
to side, and over the speaking horn, you hear someone saying, "Sorry about that. That's Captain Ty who's saying that." When she hears you
Sorry, no.
cry.
I platonically love your forgery skills, Atramentum, and nothing else.
This also works.
It's a purely professional relationship we have, Atramentum, isn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about. You are in my quarters right now.
Cork back into speaking horn.
Damn it, Atramentum! She's going to murder me!
Well, don't you kind of people have 9 lives?
Oh yes, well, I've only expended 6 of them, so I'm running short.
All right, so he basically explains to you that this magic, actually, he did, works in different ways. He can forge anything he wants, like written-wise. He can also make it invisible to read, and not being able to detect it other than the eyes he intends it to be.
Ooh. Is that permanent, or is it lost?
Let me double check. Like it's illusory script if you want to know this spell.
It's very nice. Good combination. Anyway, And then I want to further sort of show the rocks to 9 and just sort of keep chatting to him, keep learning the language.
9, it's as if you have given him a cardboard box. You cease to exist. He takes the rocks, he kind of clutches them together, and you're not sure what exactly he's doing. It could be smiling, or he could just be growling at you. And he kind of hops over into his sort of space, and he just sits there holding them. He starts to whistle these very almost mournful tunes, day in and day out, and day in and day out, until eventually there's a polite request that either he gets put in a sack with his stones and sent to the merfolk as a gift, or he goes into the lowest part of the hold and can continue his whistling.
Okay. I help him. I make him a little room in the hold where and I will promise to bring him more stones.
All right, so that's what he. That's what.
And I want to keep sort of talking to him and learning his language, and maybe start teaching him some of our language so he can talk to people that matter.
Okay.
And then also I want to start contacting Archons and other captains that I know, starting with Mr. Sneeze himself, Mandach Lot Khaldun.
All right, that's going to require me to open up that
type.
document. Whilst I'm opening up that document, in the meantime, Jorik, do you want to talk to Con?
Yes, I want to look up Con, because Con will need someone to continue his longsword training, and Jorik knows how to do that. So, if you want, I can take over after Blaxton, if that's fine. And in return, you could teach me something about the mushy insides of people. I do not want to harm anyone with my abilities.
Have you finished reading that book I gave you?
Yes, I have been reading them, and they're complex, but they're good.
Yes.
So
without reading those, a lot of what I might say to you will make no sense. It's sort of required reading.
All right.
You have a deal.
All right. So that's what we're doing then.
I also inquire of Aldwin how his woodworking skills are.
His name's Bushy-tailed Big One.
Biggie.
Which I will absolutely call him every time.
He's Biggie.
I will call him
Got so many
Bushy-tailed Big
names.
One.
He's got so many names. No, it's the ship's been. It's she. You haven't spoken to her.
I knew there was a reason we brought you on board. Can I entrust you with the care of the vessel in terms of her magical wood properties? Will you care for it?
I will care for her, absolutely, yes. Can I ask why you haven't spoken to her? She was curious.
Oh my god.
We weren't aware she was there.
Hey, I talked to the ship. I said so. I said so.
Never expected it to be listening.
All right, I think she'll accept that. Okay, yes, I can deal with the ship, absolutely. But can I talk to the rest of the crew too?
Of course. You are a member of the crew now.
Excellent. In which case, then, I have one more request, and feel free to say no. I know I would if I was in your shoes. Probably shouldn't have said that. There's a small space that I've found. It looks kind of like a cell, but there's no one in there at the moment. And I was wondering, because of where it's positioned, it would be perfect to cultivate a little of the the good stuff. I can pretty much guarantee you that in the next 10 years I could get you a pretty good lichen growth.
You want to create a little indoor garden in the old spy compartment at the bottom of the ship.
Yes, well, that would be perfect. I mean, there are so many things that I could do in that space. We could bring in underground fungi to lighten it up, and I was thinking, with the crew, I'm they're very tense. I've noticed they didn't talk much. So if we could, then yes, I could turn that into a space of calmness and tranquility.
Wasn't the space not like 5 feet by 2 feet or something?
At midpoint?
Yes, it wasn't a very big space.
2 inches by 3 inches. Like.
I would say that sounds like a good idea. Try and keep it confined to the enclosure of that.
Oh yes. No, absolutely.
And it should not interfere with the structural integrity or the running of the ship.
No, of course not. I wouldn't do anything like that. No.
If you can engineer some sort of resource potential from it, medicinal plants perhaps, that would even be better.
We could do that a little bit, I suppose. You can count on me, Captain.
Excellent thinking.
Commander, I don't... Yes.
At some point, I'd be curious to hear more about the ship and communication. And
why haven't you spoken to her? I assume that you could...
I fill him in, like how the ship got repaired at Sanctuary.
That's yes. Oh yes.
Is this what we're talking about?
Yes. Well, he probably just made her. Well, she grows back, so she's alive, and as you know, like all growing things, they've got a soul and they're aware and can you talk to plants? Has it been a while? Do not like talking to our growing friends? I understand. I cannot stand talking to reptiles. They just give me the chills. But if plants are your thing,
much as it benefits my medical practice.
I see. Right, strictly a practicing druid. Yes. I couldn't go that route. I had to talk to them. I just had to talk to them. Principally because they couldn't run away. But
they just grow and like
turn towards the silence.
Well, I believe you have lots to do.
Yes,
I pat him on the shoulder and make a bit of hasty retreat via Captain Pye to inform her of the appointment of the custodian of the organic parts of the ship.
Yes, I did wonder about his role aboard the vessel, sir. So I'll treat him as a passenger, strictly, I assume, in terms of crew
more
rotations.
Like a form of engineering, I think, would be a more helpful way to look at it.
He's the replacement carpenter.
He knows how to look after the living parts of our ship, which now exist because of its druidic repairs.
Noted and understood.
Consider him a specialist.
That's a good definition to use.
I
Very well.
grant you that he is quirky, but I hope he will prove useful.
You are aware that the makeup of his crew dictates that there is a certain unusualness to each of us.
So we should all be fine.
Yes.
Well, everything's fine. All fine now. I'm going to go find some bacon.
All right. Very quickly, Jorik, you wanted to speak to Con before you guys arrive at Lorcan Castle.
I did that already, so we covered that.
Oh, you're done. You're good.
Good.
You're good to go. All right, fantastic. The ship sails for 4 days, and for 4 days you do not see any other vessels. There are no human vessels sailing south or north. There are no elvish patrol ships sailing in the channel at all. It is unusually quiet. Mios is actually a pretty good study in terms of semaphore. So that advances quite well. In terms of him sort of starting to learn. You get a sense that he can actually read as well. And he could do that beforehand.
So, before we get into the city itself,
yes,
I don't know if when Guy tell me when we are about to enter.
You are literally entering. Well, you're about to enter.
Well,
You can see
right,
it on the
so
horizon.
Right, like two things. First of all, Jenny tried to contact different people. Did anybody answer? Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So just take me through the list of people that you tried to contact.
Well, the first one is Mandakh Khaldun. Not answering.
No response.
No response.
Beep, 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 beep.
I mean, I want to contact Varys as well, see if he's answering.
No response.
No response. Oh, damn. Honestly,
He was in the-
what about Verbal Bork? Is he still around? Because
Sorry.
I can do 3 people a day for 4 days, so I can talk to 12 different people.
All right. I'm just checking the list. No Bork.
That's our deacon, yeah. No. Are there any other Archons that I've met or no? Because I need to. Because I mean, I spent some time at the academy and whatnot, so I must like met some people, but I'm not sure like which of these people.
Okay. No, absolutely fine. 1, 2, 3. Roll a d6 for me, please.
Yes. 4.
4. All right. You try several other archons that you have met in your time. No response whatsoever.
And
so you've gone through 12, basically.
all right.
12 Archons?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, 12 Archons,
hang on.
deacons, and captains, I suppose.
Yeah. It would
Because
be a
once I've done the
combination
Archons,
of-
I'd go to deacons, then I'd go to
Correct,
captains. Right, to talk.
Correct. So yeah, you've gone through 12 groupings. Unless you're going to go for a captain that you might have met, that's up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to start going for captains once because there aren't that many Archons, and definitely not that many I've met. So I will have started.
I think, right? And the Sector 13 guy we never
There
met.
were
4, 5,
9.
6,
9
7,
Archons.
8, 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I probably met like a handful of those,
Yeah.
and then I'll start trying to contact other captains that I've met.
All right. Roll a d20 for me. Let's see. Maybe you get lucky.
15.
You reach out to at the time, it was the biggest order ship in terms of crew numbers, and that is an Octorelicar vessel, the Mong To. And you happen to know from your academy days an individual, a dwarf by the name of Rombathenbergen. And you reach out to Rombathenbergen, and you
Sounds
do.
like fake German to me.
Rombathenbergen, yeah. You reach out to him, and you do get a response. So you've got 24 words. Is that right?
Yes, 25.
25.
Per message.
Yeah. What are you saying?
Say, this is Adrusai of the Order. Dragons have returned. Please tell me if you're alive. We need to do something.
All right. And they can send 25 words back, yes?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. So, Rombathenbergen sends back Trouble Corsinii, Dwarves Mustering, no captains, no contact, Edict 7, question, Oracle down, request location. I think that's 15, right? Request location. Currently, and this is where I'm going to roll a dice because I did not know where he was. Oh, right, that's interesting. Currently, Talentari Bay. That's 18.
What's Talentari?
Talentari Bay.
Talentari.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Up north, goblin tribes.
Thank you.
Stockstrovia, which is the name of another order ship, still intact.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Great. I tell everyone.
So when we are on our way to enter the city, or before we enter the city,
Yes.
I would like to ask them to let me off the vessel before we enter, so I can enter on my own without being associated.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. I just cast fly on you. You can make your way in however you want.
Go, please.
And I say we'll meet in the evening in the Screaming Siren.
All right.
Tavern.
Yeah.
Okay, so you disembark. The area around Lorcan Castle is just massive fields of agriculture, orchards everywhere. You land and you can make your way into the castle without any difficulty whatsoever. Carts carrying goods in and out are just constantly.
Okay, great. So what I will do is I will go to one of the orchards and whatnot,
and
steal a few sacks full of apples or whatever
apples,
they have.
Absolutely, yeah.
I will summon pebbles and put the over the old nag. Put the sacks basically over it, and then make my way towards the city gates.
Right. Just for those of us that don't know, who have you summoned? Just describe.
Okay, Pebbles, which is my steed, which usually looks a little bit different, but right now it looks like an old jackass, basically.
All right, so Pebbles has arrived. I was wondering when that was going to happen. And they've just sealed shut the stables on the ship. What a pity. All right, so Pebbles arrives and you sort of make your way in as a trader. The stealing of the apples is really easy. No one's paying attention, really. And
I mean, I'm invisible for 1 hour. I think I can.
Exactly right. So it's not a problem whatsoever. Yes, you make your way into Lorcan Castle. Now, Lorcan, and this you see from the Windswift as she's coming into harbour. Again, lots of ships at dock. Lots of them. They don't seem to be in the state of readiness that vessels usually are in. They look as if everyone's sort of waiting for something to happen.
Well, we're here.
Yeah, we're arrived. You can go now. You can go. Lorcan is
today.
A massive citadel that sits on this large promontory of very white rock, and it overlooks the actual city and the harbour below it. Very imposing, very sort of dominating structure. Significant religious structures can be found here as well. Temples to all of the gods, and the temples, although they're built in the lower half of the city, they have built upwards along that white cliff face to try and almost get to the height of the citadel on top. So there's this really tall feeling to the space.
Minas Tirith.
Yes, not necessarily with 7 walls though. That just becomes annoying after a while.
Yeah.
The walls that it does have,
And a little bit redundant.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. And claustrophobic too. No. The citadel itself has massive walls, but the city, was built after the citadel had been in existence for quite some time, and during the period of relative peace. It's only about 180 years old as a city is concerned. So there is a wooden wall at the very edge, sort of demarcating city boundaries, but no significant structures other than that.
Defensive structures, yeah. So since it's in the heart of the empire, basically.
Exactly right. And if you want to take the city, you're going to get bombarded by the citadel quite effectively. So it really isn't worth your time. Pulling in.
So no city gates.
Well, there are city gates, just in terms of if they have to ever sort of seal people in. Like I said, it's a wooden wall, palisade, correct, that they can close the gates if they do. The gates, however, haven't been closed in a long time. You can see that there's bits of grass that's grown up in front of it, and it would be a little bit of a mission to do so. Taking pebbles through that gate is... The guards don't even look at you, they just sort of let you through. They're really more token than anything else. What does stand out is that their tabards are this sort of brilliant yellow, with this very, very rampant griffin in green sort of emblazoned across the front of it. Correct. And the city has there's a certain jovialness to this space. It doesn't feel... I beg your pardon?
That's good. Already moved past that joke.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have the clean efficiency of Qwethlan, but at the same time, it's definitely not organic as Denethwold. This is a very traditional wattle and daub principally constructed city. Lots of white walls with black wooden beams that have been coated to keep out the water.
Yeah, whitewashed.
Correct.
And firehand. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Pulling the ship in, the quartermaster comes over to you. He's quite a serious-looking fellow. All right, I need to speak to the captain, please. Obviously, we're under a bit of a strain at the moment, so if you're looking to trade, well, that's easy enough, as long as you don't want to leave again. Although I would be surprised to find out how it is that you got in here in the first place. I thought all trade had shut down in the last couple of days. If Lieutenant Ty steps forward and says, "I'm the captain of this vessel, you will address me, and I will not tell you any information as to the outside world. That is your problem, not mine. I wish for a berth, and you will provide one for a period of 4 days, no more or no less, and I will pay you per day."
Oh my god, we created a monster.
It's fantastic.
Oh, all right. Yeah, per day, absolutely. Yeah, great. Oh, lovely.
Captain Ty.
Yes, Commander.
We also have a lot of ink that we'd like to sell, and ink is like worth its weight, if not more, double in gold. Yeah. So we have things to do here too.
I have commissioned the berth for 4 days. I don't think that we necessarily need more than that, but if we do, I will extend it.
No, I recognise that, but don't forget to mention that we're going to be trading. I'm sure there's like a tax or something that we're going to have to pay.
Absolutely understood. Anything else?
No.
Excellent.
I'm wondering where the nearest tavern is down there.
All right. So you four can think about what you're going to do. At Tramentum, where are you heading? You obviously not going straight to the screaming siren.
No, I will first go to the slum-ish district, if there is such a thing.
Oh yes,
or at least lower parts of the city. Search out a few kind of boys and street rabble, riff raff,
street rats. Yeah.
And I will just give them the vegetables or fruits that I have.
That's great.
Carry some favor.
Absolutely, it certainly does.
And I want them to get the word out that Atramentum is in town and wishes to speak to the guildmaster. And that he can, and then I ask him where the next brothel is. And that they can find me there.
You have waited maybe 10 minutes at the Blushing Peach, where you've been, they've got cheap ales and the like. You are obviously offered services as wrought by the girls at the Blushing Peach, but the proprietress does tell you that, oh, well, my girls have been worked off their feet with all these sailors stuck here in the harbour. It's been quite crazy, as a matter of fact. But, we'll always fit in another one. At least that's what Molly says. All right, so, get you an ale, shall I?
No, thank you.
Right, you are. You've just come here to look then. All right, great. Good. Well, that's actually...
And I throw her a gold piece to shut up.
She shuts up instantaneously and vanishes. No one bothers you for the next 5 minutes or so. Then this very lanky, not very clean-shaven kind of oil pit oozes into the brothel, reeking of cheap cologne, looks at the woman in a particularly nasty way, then looks over at you, slides up and says, "So I hear you're looking for a guildmaster."
Yes.
Is this official Kabali business, or are you on a private operation?
Yes.
You can see that he wasn't planning on that response. All right, well, I suppose you better come with me then, he says.
Yes.
It's very difficult to follow him because he has, an uneven gait, so he kind of walks and pauses, and then you think his brain obviously processes the fact that he has to move his legs again, so then he walks again a little bit, and then he sort of slows down. One leg is slightly shorter than the other, and you are convinced that he is actually trailing the stench. It's obviously leaking out of him because
yeah. Just an inside check. He's faking this, right? I mean, if I need to an inside check for this at all.
Well, the thing is, you look at him, you're going, oh, yeah, we have these all over the Cabal. They take in tourists, and they're the front man. You are a little bit disappointed to realize that he actually isn't faking this. This is actually the level at which he is operating. But you are taken to this rather boring-looking warehouse.
Good.
And inside
Good
of
stuff.
it, he takes you to the doorway and he says, "Guildmaster's inside, you'll see you now."
Yeah, I
And-
show that I have no weapons.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that part. Right. Thanks, he says as he sort of pushes the door shut behind you. It's one of those big wheel doors that he sort of rolls shut. Inside, there are these carcasses of pigs hanging up all over the place, and there's a group of very large, burly men with cleavers busy hacking into each carcass and sort of cutting it up and getting it ready for transport and that sort of thing.
I'll try to get the lay of the situation going on.
Yeah,
Exits.
predominantly it's a gigantic rectangle. They
Slaughterhouse.
look to be about 3 or 4 exits on either side of the length of the building, and then there's a set of stairs going up to a sort of a semi-second half.
Trying to see where the garrison is and whatnot. Like that's kind
Absolutely. It's very
A little bit of
easy to
where-
spot. They're not very subtle about it. You can tell immediately the way the operation works here is they probably are paying the Lord of Lorcan to just have his men leave them alone. Or
Leave
at least
them alone.
they're paying the guard captains. It's a standard kind of operation.
Yeah.
You can see there's 4 guys tastefully placed with crossbows, rather casually sort of hidden so as not to arouse too much suspicion. But
I nod at them.
Yeah, and they kind of, well, they sort of nod back. They don't know. They haven't seen a Kabalia member here in quite some time. And stepping out from one of the carcasses wearing this very bloodied apron is... It looks like someone basically walked up to him and then hit him very hard on his head so that his neck was forced into his body, because he doesn't seem to have a neck, and he walks like someone who sort of doesn't really have much mobility. And he walks up to you and he says, "I must admit, we weren't expecting the Kabali to send anyone around hereabouts anytime soon. Anyway, what can we do for you, my friend?"
So he's basically saying that he is the guild master.
To a degree, yes. No one else, in theory, according to tradition, should be talking to except for him. This might be a front man, but given what you've seen so far, unlikely.
All right. So I'll do an overly kind of pointed kind of bow before him. And I say, I wanted to introduce myself that I am now venturing on your turf.
It's appreciated that you recognise the old ways. So many times now we would have had people just walking in and, doing their own business. I appreciate that.
And I want to ensure you that I am not here to wilder in your terrain.
Yes. Good. Yeah, right. So what exactly is it that we can do for you? We're not a very big operation here in Lorcan. We don't need to be necessarily. Couple, playthings on the side and a few little bits and bobs going on. Nothing with the sea trade at the moment. That's a complete and right bollocking. Not entirely sure what we're going to do about that exactly. Trade's down naturally. What brings you here?
A boat.
Like most things, it goes straight over his head. I see. All right, well, that's fine. So what are you planning on doing here whilst you're here in our precious little city of Lorcan?
I wish to gather information on the whereabouts of certain operatives that I am looking for in official Kabali business.
Right, understandable, absolutely. Look, the Tieflings mostly hang out at a place called the Screaming Siren, quite well known for attracting your kind, if I might be so blunt. But Screaming Siren's usually there. Other than that, I suppose you could... Oh, what was his name? I can never remember. He changed it when he got here. Puts on airs and pretends he's a lord. Galloon. He's quite high up with the big knobs up on the hill. If you want to get in there, you need to speak to him. He's Tiefling. Usually goes to the Screaming Siren on fight nights. But other than that, yeah. If you're not wanting in on any of the operations, that's fine. I'm not going to take you through the books and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that's necessary.
It is not. So, Sir Galloon, aside from the Screaming Silence, where could I meet him?
Well, sir, he's got an estate just outside of Lorcan. Does apples, I think.
Very well. Please send a message to there that I will meet him tomorrow at noon.
I can send him the message, but I don't think he's your traditional tiefling, if you know what I mean.
I am not your traditional tiefling as well.
Yeah, but I mean, what I mean to say is, I don't think he's going to respond very well to the Cabal giving him an order to meet at noon.
No, this is an entirely friendly visit.
Right. Well, I'll get one of the lads to send a message along. Where can I get the response to you?
I look a little bit befuddled.
Oh, right. Screaming Siren. I didn't want to assume you were going to go where your compatriots was, but yes, that's probably where I would go, yeah.
Very well. Aside from your operations, do you have contacts in nearby cities? Perhaps, what can you tell me about Velenhold? And the local guild leader there?
Well, look, we've cooperated with the Kabali. We've always done what you've asked. We've never rocked a boat. So, to get involved with Vulcan, I don't really want to do that, if you don't mind me saying.
You said Vulcan?
Yeah. He's a nasty piece of work, and I wouldn't go anywhere near him.
Great. Where can I find him in Valenhold? Which district?
Like I said, we don't generally deal much with them. They're a little bit far off for us, and he's a right regular piece of work. From what I understand, he's actually part of the actual clergy itself. Only that's a sort of it's not even a moonlighting. I think he actually believes that he is some kind of divine being who just happens to, run some of the greatest brothels in all of Braxia. It's disgusting. It's what it is. It's complete hypocrisy. I mean, you don't see me going around doing an honourable business.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I will leave you to your swines then.
Yeah, good, excellent. And if you want a hock of meat, I've got a great cut for you. It's only 2 days old.
Of course. If anything like this arises, I will send message.
Right. He sort of.
I'm sorry, man. That's just outside. I told you.
He nods and right. So the Cabal's happy with our operations. I mean, they're getting their cut. That's all right. That's
I'm not here for you.
Oh, all right, fine. That's great. Well, I wish you the best of luck then.
I make again an overly emphasized bow and
He kind of
leave.
Sort of rocks backwards and forwards as he tries to bow, but with his back, it's impossible. The four of you on the ship or off the ship now.
Yes.
Are you heading anywhere? What are you doing?
Actually, Jorik comes up on deck, not looking like he used to. He's wearing a bright blue puffy tunic with yellow details,
Oh no.
green
On my
tights,
draw.
blue shoes with upturned points on them and a white puff on them, and then a Robin Hood hat with a giant plume in it. And he wears a Sajeti silken veil over his face.
Oh my god, the powder's gone to his head. What have we done?
Ambar of Kutu, at your service. I'm going to go trading. I can't trade as the boar me, so I'm adopting my alternate identity I've had use for sometimes.
Right.
Can I come?
Oh my god.
If you want.
With you?
Adrian, you have to tell me everything when you get back.
Before you go,
I'll be your accountant.
That's perfect, actually. Yes, that's perfect. Yes.
I really like the shoes.
Do you have something ridiculously opulent to wear?
Yes! As I run
put it
back
on.
into my cabin.
Con's like,
Sorry, they're picking up clothes. No, not fancy enough. No, sparklier.
Where did you get the shoes from?
Oh, wow, that was... I think I bought them from a sand trader in the northern deserts of Sajeti.
Try not to let Adresai get too distracted by the pom-poms.
Yeah, sure. I promise.
The feather is just like
The feather. It's one of those you can slap people with just by turning your head.
yeah. What did you want to say, Con, before? Or are you just sort of standing on the deck going, "It's over. This
What?
new order is over."
I was going to inquire after Adresai's success of not with her attempts to contact anyone. First off.
Right. So, Adresai, do you tell Con that you made contact?
Yeah, absolutely. I would have done that like as soon as
You got it?
it happened. Yeah.
I'm thinking perhaps this should coordinate with you about where he should go once he gets his ship. Since you're able...
Whoever's typing, just mute your typing, please. Yeah. Sorry, Con?
Since right now you're pretty much all we've got in terms of long-distance communication.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking about arranging with this to contact him once a week or something like that on a specific time to sort of get an update.
So if we get contacts from other captains, we can send this to
Meet with them?
up with them or whatever, or get them to rendezvous and start grouping.
Yes. We should try to look for some kind of other communication means while we're here, I feel. Like some kind of
Agreed.
sending stones or I don't know what they have here in this
Ooh.
human
Ooh.
nation.
I've just remembered the stones we got with that we were using to communicate with the Grace. Could we like retune them in some cool way so they become like
We could try. I mean, we only have the one, but maybe we can, if we get other stones, maybe we could retune this to function with, unless we want an open line to the Grace in case we want to talk to them about, dragon stuff.
And then we glue them to a stick so we can hold them on our faces.
Yes. Hello. We just glue one here and one there, and we just.
And on that note, we're going to end this episode before it gets any worse. Oh my gosh. Well, from one extreme to the other, I suppose. Okay. Anyway, that's the end of the Adventures of the Windswift for this week. We will return next week. We'll return next week with further adventures as our crew continues to put into place a plan to bring about the new order, which or whatever it's going to be called. I'm terrified of what it might be called, actually. Anyway, until next week, thanks for watching. If you stay for the review, we're going to go straight into that. So review. Dice of Destiny tells us that review kickoff number 2, as that's me, because I'm going 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to start off the review. I actually quite enjoyed the episode. I thought it was quite a nice sort of light show after last week, and things got planned and things got handled, and I think we kind of have a course of action, which is always quite nice. It allows me to at least sort of plot and plan and come up with some stuff, yes, so I'm enjoying it. I actually was enjoying the inter-party conversations that were happening, like the ones that kicked off with Atramentum and Adressai, and then sort of everyone had their own bits and pieces going on. So I quite like that. And the promotion of Captain Ty, I think, is just wonderful, because now she can be the captain that she wants to be.
Completely overbearing.
That might actually help her personality-wise, because now she doesn't need to compensate, right?
Yes, correct. Now she has all of the authority and as you say, just
sort of relax into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Jorik, you sir, how did you find this episode?
It was a still episode for me. Didn't do much, which is fine. I don't mind being in the background. That's kind of Jorik as a character, so that's all fine. I also like listening to all the things happening in between the characters, and I continued my character arc of Jorik trying to learn about medicine and sort of becoming more of a person that actually spends time with people and not just sitting around looking gruff. However, I did decide to bring out his alternate identity here in this episode. As part of the charlatan background, you get a false identity that you can adopt. You have papers, everything. It's basically a completely different person. So I decided to go 180 on Jorik. Jorik is dull and boring. Ambar, the trader from Dathwin, is
not
a horrible person. He's flashy, he's extravagant, and he's all emotion. So this, loud. So this will be fun playing him for the next episode.
Fantastic. Excellent. Atramentum?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an episode. It happened.
I mean, it was fun for me to go a little bit more into detail what he's actually about, and being able to showcase that towards Ty again, but also obviously towards another player this time as well with Adressai or Jenny.
Right.
And being able to deal with this wonderful person was also...
It actually, after a while, it actually gets a bit painful. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so that was kind of interesting. Got a lot of information there which will maybe help in the future.
Right.
And just...
a bit of a plan going forward, I think. Or
just trying to gather information. I thought it would go a little bit different, but I'm fine to roll with the punches. So, I mean, other than that, there's not much to say.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to make clear is that he will kind of, even though he's the new fifth wheel, I guess, he'll want to impose his will, because he is not a part of the order. He is here because this is a working corporation, and if this doesn't go the way that he wants to, he will certainly kind of voice his unhappiness fairly quickly. But that is the beginning, obviously. As we kind of grow to know each other more, there's absolutely plenty of opportunity to curry personal favors as well.
Right.
But I thought it is kind of important for everybody to know why he is actually here. And I wanted to kind of emphasize that a bit.
Correct. I think so. So, Kate, it was basically an episode of you face palming, pretty much.
Yeah, I can't believe I was the one doing that. I mean, it was just I wasn't disappointed with anybody's moves. I would like to make that perfectly clear. It's just, yeah, sometimes as a whole we do things that are a bit crazy. Like bringing nutty freaking druids who want to grow a freaking garden in the spy quarters.
A weed garden.
Yeah, no, not even weed.
Lichen.
Lichen. I mean, it's just a type of moss that grows on rocks.
Lichen is not moss, lichen is lichen.
Exactly.
Well, like,
And
yeah,
mushrooms, if anything.
No, that's possibly true too. But I mean, like, of all the things to grow, lichen is not very exciting. I know you want medicinal plants in there as well, but this could be an interesting character addition.
I thought it was a great idea to try to get him though.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I mean, yeah, on a different, like, you know, it's great that we're recruiting people, but honestly,
we have higher standards. And then Jorik walks out.
don't.
And
Have you
those
met-
standards.
I mean, you recruited a murderer recently. What
Yeah, like, have you met us?
like, Saketa's
That's
kind of
standard.
glad that we have the assassin on board because it means she can keep an eye on him and eventually work out who the fuck paid him.
We also have a snake that eats people.
Well, yeah, that's
Only once they're dead.
probably not for much longer.
Whatever the hell our deckhands are, we
Right.
have those. Zombies in the hold.
You mean Rob and Bob?
Yes.
Absolutely. And Adversary?
I always like your little weird NPCs guy, and I enjoy making your NPCs happy very much. They're so adorable. They just like light up with like the light of the sun, and it's just like, oh, I got to make 9 happy, and the Druid man got happy, and Ty's getting happier, and it feels like we're seeding a bit more of a future, and like we're not aiming away from anything anymore. We're not running, we're aiming towards something.
Jenny, you realize people need to be happy so you can take it away from them, right?
And also, you know,
True, but I feel
Adversary
like,
needs to be a little careful with Captain Ty now. I feel she's treading on dangerous.
yeah, I feel
Dangerous
that
ice there.
I am going to wake up with her here threatening
Yes.
me.
Yes.
At
And
some
a
point.
dagger there.
Yes.
She's mine.
It's not my type. What
Oh, you
tieflings?
don't know.
Murderers! Ty!
Murderers.
I'm not into murderers! No, I enjoyed it a lot, and it's sort of when we're getting little hints. I'm glad that I chose sending because it gives us like little hints about what's going on in different parts of the world. And now that I've finally heard that there's something going on in Consinii that Con neglected to tell us that the whole thing had exploded, I'm going to probably try to contact someone there as well and find out what's going on. But that'll be next week.
Absolutely. No, I think it's good. I think it's as you say, you're now moving towards rather than sort of rushing away and trying to figure out. Con, your thoughts?
Interesting. Yeah. No, I'm having a bit of fun, sort of, with the idea of rebuilding and sort of starting a fresh movement, recruiting, planning. So Con's ideas are very much along those lines of wanting to, get a more crew, obviously. And since we had a druid NPC presented to us, I was like, resource, useful, why not have a bash at that?
Right, absolutely.
And that's kind of how Con's going to be now, or he's on the lookout for ways in which to advantage our cause, or bring in useful people, or acquire resources. So I guess maybe a bit more mercenary. as we prepare for, I guess, this fight. It's a whole repositioning of purpose.
Right. Absolutely.
Which is fun. I'm liking what everyone's doing. I think there's a lot of fun in each of the characters' activities. It's sort of, it's been fun to sit and just listen and everyone get on with their things as well. So yeah.
Magic. Well, hopefully, hopefully you have been watching or seeing things unfold and move in directions which makes the whole thing seem as if it's starting to come towards a point of maybe engaging in that final battle, maybe? I don't know. Let's see. Let's build an army first and forge the new order as it should be, so that there are no more mistakes, no more corruption, no more
we're clearly going to have to come up with a name for ourselves, which doesn't sound like we're trying to...
The potatoes of resistance.
Oh my
Because
god.
we grow
On that
the
note,
ground.
no. The potatoes of resistance, dear Lord. All right, well, there we go. Thank you for watching, although I think I should be apologizing for you watching now.
Sorry for watching.
Yes, we're sorry for you watching. Until next week, from me and everybody here, thank you again. Goodbye.